Hi everyone, this is Mr. Neil Reiter, also known as the Wax Whisperer. Thank you for tuning into my latest video. Very interesting case, a very severe earwax impaction in both ears. What made it much more difficult was that the patient's ear canals are very narrow at the entrance, they were almost closed. Once you enter the ear canal widens. So this is the patient's left ear, so this is a pre-examination video, and you can see the wax is right at the entrance of the ear canal and it extends all the way to the eardrum. So we're looking about 3 centimeters worth of earwax there, and I tried to insert the Zollner suction probe, but the entrance of the ear canal was closed, it was collapsed, it was shut almost. So what I had to do to get access into the patient's ear, I had to retract their ear, so the pin there. So I got my right hand and I held the patient's externally and I pulled it back and up, and what that does, it widens and straightens the ear canal. And I then placed the endoscope at the base of the ear canal and pushed it to the right, so I stretched open the ear canal. So in a way, in essence, I was using the endoscope almost like a crowbar, stretching it. And once I stretched open the ear canal and widened it, I then inserted the Zollner suction probe into the canal, had it on view on the monitor, and then I could manipulate both the camera and the suction probe at will. So you see there's a bit of keratin here around the edge of the wax as adhered to the canal wall. You can see as I came out with the instrument, the canal closed, and here I'm stretching it open. You probably saw that I'm widening it. I've got the endoscope in position, and then I was able to insert the Zollner suction probe just past the endoscope, and then once the Zollner suction probe is in the ear canal, I can manipulate the camera in every angle I want alongside the Zollner suction probe. So the wax, the patient said he previously had, he normally gets his ears irrigated locally at the doctor's every 2 years, but never felt really the ears have been fully cleaned. Obviously came out after the procedure hearing better, but has always struggled. And the patient heard about myself and thought, travelled from Nottingham actually. So Nottingham's about 50 miles each way. And he just wanted to see if we can really get his ear clean. He wanted to have a look afterwards inside. So you can see a bit of skin right at the distance past this lateral piece of wax. Let's just remove this out of the way. The wax is quite dry, crumbly. As I was removing it, a lot of it got, little pieces got, like this piece, it got suctioned up by the Zollner suction probe. There were some larger bits. At the end of the video, you're going to see tissue full of earwax, and if all those segments of wax that got suctioned up didn't get suctioned up and I was able to show you the tissue, I'm pretty sure this would have weighed more than a gram. Some of you may be aware that I'm starting to weigh earwax now, and I had one the other day that just weighed under a gram, I think 900 milligrams, so I'm pretty sure this would have been in excess of a gram. So a bit more medial now. By the way, guys, if you're watching on YouTube for the first time, please do subscribe to the page, select the bell icon so you'll get notified as and when I upload new videos. I think this is, I've got 607 other videos. Some of the videos are silent, some of the videos have got live suction noises, so feel free to have a look. We've also got some playlists of my top 10 earwax removals, ear infections, keratosis obturans. So have a look at the playlist as well if you're interested. So we're just making steady progress here. We are probably about a centimetre away now from the eardrum, I would suspect, and just trying to take this wax off the canal wall. A bit of keratin there, as you can see. The wax has been in there for a long time. It has oxidized. So here's this narrow entrance. I'm just stretching it open, and once it's open, I'm inserting the Zollner suction probe. We had a training course just at the weekend, and these are the kind of ears that ideally we want to train our delegates on, because if they can perform the procedure on these types of ears, then they can perform the procedure on anyone's ears. It's when the ear canal is narrow and twisty at the entrance, that's where you need a bit of skill and experience to do it, and this would have been the perfect patient actually for our delegates to acquire and learn that skill. See a lot of keratin at the base, just loosening that. The wax is also coming out in big chunks. As it comes out the entrance, it gets blocked at the entrance because it's a bit narrower there. Again, just stretching open the ear. So we're on the bony part of the ear canal. We're going to be very delicate. The inner 2/3 of the ear canal is made up of bone and a very thin layer of skin, which is roughly 0.1 millimeters in thickness. It's a very sensitive part of the ear canal, and it's non-flexible. The outer third of the ear canal is made up of cartilage and some muscle. It's very flexible, and it's got a thicker layer of skin, approximately 1 millimeter, so it's times 10 the thickness of the skin that lines the inner 2/3 of the ear canal. And on the outer thirds, we've also got the hair follicles, which you can see. As you can see, I'm really trying to wriggle this through the entrance because the entrance is virtually shut. It's trapping it, and it dissects. So the hair follicles have 2 glands that are attached, kind of deep inside. You have the ceruminous glands, which are sweat glands, same modified sweat glands as we find under our armpits. And also the glands have sebaceous glands. So sebaceous glands secrete a substance called sebum, and sebum is made up of various organic compounds such as alcohols, cholesterols, long chains of saturated and unsaturated fatty acids, squalene, and the sebum, the sweat, and dead skin in the ear canal all combine to form earwax. And in most people, earwax naturally comes out of the ear canal. So just here, I'm just peeling off some dead keratin. So the skin that lines the ear canal, it's developed a unique mechanism. So as it sheds, it naturally moves sideways, laterally out of the ear canal in a conveyor belt motion, a bit like a snake skin. And if it didn't do that, if the ear didn't evolve to have that unique property, the ear would be constantly blocked with dead skin. When you've got dead skin on your scalp or your hand or your arm, it just falls onto the floor. But dead skin in your ear, if it just dies and falls, it just creates a blockage. So the ears develop that natural conveyor belt motion. And as the skin naturally migrates out of the ear, it takes with it earwax. So for 90 to 95% of the population, we all have earwax. It's a natural substance, but it naturally migrates out of the ear, so it doesn't cause a problem. And the technical term for a blocked ear due to earwax is called cerumonosis. So it's probably roughly 5 to 8% of the population that suffer from cerumonosis. And it could be for the same reason, but this patient, the ear canal entrance is so narrow and closed, the wax gets trapped, it's not migrating out of the ear. If you've got a dry skin, which this patient has dry earwax, you get friction, so the wax isn't kind of, it sticks to the ear canal. So if you've also got sticky wax, that can also happen, it sticks to the ear canal. If you've got a lot of hair in the ear canal, it can mat against, that can mat the wax, and the wax gets trapped inside the ear canal. And if you use Q-tips, cotton buds, earbuds, or if you wear hearing aids, that can also force the wax further in. If you've got a narrow ear canal, so people with Down syndrome have very narrow ear canals, or people who have suffered chronic ear infections and developed a condition called stenosis. So stenosis is a natural narrowing of orifices, secondary typically to chronic ear infections. Or if you've got what we call surface ears, so surface ears exotosis. So if you either swim in cold water or are kind of outdoors a lot with cold wind, it causes the inner bony part of the ear canal to develop bone spurs, and these spurs can trap wax inside the ear canal. So just on the right side, now this is far more tricky, this wax. It's a lot more dense, and this ear canal, it was really narrow. I'm having to really stretch. It was a real, apply a lot of force to widen the ear canal. Just use a bit of suction, the wax was a bit too dense, so I've gone in with the ear hook and just trying to remove the wax. Again, I'm just trying to stretch it. I've just gone into the ear canal. I'm going to the left, widening the ear canal. But even then, it's very difficult to widen. This cartilage is quite bit more. It wasn't as flexible as the left side, the cartilage near the entrance. So again, just got a Jobson horn in there. So what I did, I went to the anterior canal wall, the front part of the ear canal, and I inserted the wax in between the Jobson horn in between the wax and the front part of the ear canal, almost gliding it to release some of the keratin dead skin that was attached to the canal wall and the wax. You can see I'm putting a lot of pressure when coming out because the ear canal is closing up. So this piece of wax is almost hanging out the ear, so it was trying to come out with the remainder of the wax I used the Jobson horn with, but it got trapped near this entrance. So the iClearScope, the camera, is actually not in the ear at the moment, it's just outside of the ear. just using Zonda suction probe just to get rid of this annoying piece of wax that's sticking out the ears. So again, I'm into the ear canal, just stretching it. I've got some wax there still posteriorly, so I'm trying to release this. And this wax is no more than half a centimetre in the ear canal at the moment. So we've still got a long way to funnel through. So it's very dry, a lot of skin adhesion. I mean, olive oil wouldn't really have worked very well with this type of wax because the wax I was able to get a suction grip. It was just because it was really compacted and dense and a lot of keratin. And I used a whole range of ENT micro instruments. In a moment, you're going to see forceps. I'm going to use a Jobson horn again. Use the ear hook again. So I'm just trying to tease, manipulate this posterior wax and dead skin out of the ear. It is stuck to the posterior canal wall. You can see the skin there. If you can see that when I'm wriggling, some skin attached. It's the white layer. There we are. You can see that a bit better near the suction probe on the left. So that's some dead skin that's attached to the wax and to the canal wall. Keratin can serve as double-sided sticky tape. It sticks to the canal wall, but it also sticks to the wax. So I've just gone in with some forceps. It did okay. The wax was a bit soft. It wasn't rock solid, but I'm just trying to see that dead skin. I just want to remove this. So it did remove a big piece here, but it wasn't effective any further, I don't think. I did go back in, but the wax here was a bit too soft and too crumbly. Just going to insert it in between the canal wall and the wax and then get some patches and extract it. So just going in behind the ear hook, just trying to extract this large lump of wax through the ear canal entrance. And there we are, that's another piece. So this piece of wax got stuck at the entrance as I was removing the larger piece. There's a bit of a gap at the top, still some wax at the base of the ear canal. So again, I'm just using the Jobson horn, just gently digging into the wax and coming forwards. So I'm just trying to get into this opening at the roof of the ear canal, in and behind the wax, coming forwards. When we come forwards with the instrument, we want to avoid almost scraping the instrument against the canal wall. So you've got to be careful. That's when you need to know the ear anatomy bits. You know, if I dig in too much and drag the Jobson horn or ear hook too lower down, it's going to graze the ear canal. So I'm just going on the posterior canal wall, and I don't know if you can tell, I'm tilting the Jobson horn, trying to take the shape of the ear. So the ear canals are almost like an S shape. So as I'm coming out with the Jobson horn, I'm trying to replicate the natural curvature of the ear canal, so we're not scraping the ear canal wall, we're working alongside the natural contours. Just again back in with the Jobson horn. Just going into the wax and coming forwards again. I want to avoid the base of the ear canal as I'm coming forward. I don't want to scratch it or scrape it. I just got trapped at the entrance again, so using a suction probe to remove that. Again, stretching the ear open. So again, this patient would have been great as an ear model at our training course, because it will teach our delegates how to, again, if you can do this type of ear anatomy, you can do any ear. A lot of dead keratin. I'm just trying to retract this off the canal wall. This keratin is very thick, it's very stubborn keratin. You get sometimes keratin that's really weak and thin and it comes off easily, but this was quite, just because the ear canal is quite dry, the wax is crumbly, and this wax is really, the skin is quite dry as well, so it makes it tougher. So we're on the medial part now, we're more than halfway into the ear canal. Just like the opposite ear, the wax has been in there for a long, long time. It's oxidized, it's turned into a dark black colour. So I'm stretching this, and I'm widening it. And actually, as I was widening it, the ear canal closed upon itself, so the endoscope came out, so I had to go back in again. Just lifting this wax off the anterior wall. So the anterior means to the front. And when we mean to the front, so if you're doing the right ear, the front means to the right. And if we're doing anterior in the left ear, means towards the left. So anterior means towards, I would say, towards the nose. Posterior is the rear, the back. So that's the back of your head, the back of the skull. Superior is to the top of the ear canal. We also call that the roof, or the attic if you're working in the eardrum region. And inferior is the bottom part of the ear canal, so south. You can also call that the base of the ear canal, as I said. So this wax is lodged very medial. So medial means towards the eardrum. Your ear canal has two bends and two narrowings. The first bend of the ear canal is probably 1/2 centimetre into the ear canal. The second bend is probably about 1 centimetre into the ear canal, centimetre, centimetre and a half. And it's at the second bend where the bony part of the ear canal and the cartilage part of the ear canal combine. We call that the osseo-cartilaginous portion, juncture. And then that part of the ear canal is generally quite narrow. So quite often when you would impacted earwax, it gets blocked at that juncture. And then you've got another narrowing about 1/2 centimetre away from the eardrum. These narrowings are called the isthmus. So this wax is lodged in the inner isthmus. I just used an ear hook. I went a bit deep. There's no other way of getting it. As I came out with the ear hook, some of the wax just split in two near the entrance because it's too large a piece to come out in one go. So I can see the posterior ear canal. So the posterior, I can see the back part, the west, if you think about it like a compass. My hands were quite achy after this procedure because I was having to stretch this ear canal open with my left hand, with the endoscope hand, having to put a lot of force to open it. And this procedure took up to 20 minutes. So yeah, good old workout, good for the biceps and triceps. I can see about half of the eardrum now. It's just the wax at the base, so inferiorly. You can see it's trapped in this isthmus. There's a recess there, inferior recess, and there's a recess to the right. That's the anterior recess. Wax commonly gets lodged in this region. And I kind of feel at this stage it's not going to come out with suction, so I believe I'm going to go back in a moment with an ear hook. Let's see. Patient has got a bit of dry skin, so a bit of otitis externa. You can see that in the ear canal, all these dry skin flakes. I'm just trying to lift this up over the inferior recess, but it's lodged. So I've just gone over the ear hook, but I've got to be careful. I don't want to make contact with the eardrum. So what I've done, I'm digging it into the wax. I'm coming forwards. If I went any further with the ear hook, I would have made direct contact. Just a still image. I think I'm using this for my thumbnail, so I took a still image. There we are, that's the tympanic membrane. You can see all the dry skin, that came off when I was removing the wax. Just mopping up with the Jobson horn on the anterior canal wall. The patient was really, really pleased. He wanted the video, the procedure, but the file was too long, didn't have an Apple device, so I said I would try and upload today and I'll provide him with the YouTube link and he can watch. But he felt so much better. He said his ears have never heard so well. So yeah, pleased we could help this chap. And I'm just here, you can see how narrow it is. I'm just trying to go through it, all the hairs. You can see the bends and twists there. So that's how much wax we extracted, 648 milligrams, so 0.65 grams, and that's all of the extraction on the tissue. I'm pretty sure if we weighed all of it, the bits that came, it's got suction up the suction probe, I would have surpassed that magical 1 gram mark. I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Have a great evening, and I should upload some more videos shortly. Thank you, bye.